was an autumn evening in 1948 when the skies above Fargo, North Dakota became the stage for a clash between man and the unknown. Lieutenant George Gorman, a seasoned fighter pilot, found himself thrust into a duel that would test the limits of his courage and the boundaries of his reality. As he soared through the late evening skies, he caught a glimpse of a gleaming object darting across the heavens with a velocity unmatched by any known terrestrial craft. Gorman, fueled by a combination of duty and unyielding curiosity, engaged in a breathtaking pursuit of the enigmatic aerial intruder. Maneuvering his P-51 Mustang with unwavering resolve, he danced across the skies in a ballet of adrenaline and uncertainty. This case file joined the theorists as they go inverted and keep up interstellar relations in the Gorman UFO Dogfight.
Yar! Welcome to Alien Theorists Theorizing Case File 283, the Gorman Dogfight. I be Braden.
Oh no, I'm Zell.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Andrew.
He's still going for the last after hours. This is all he wanted to do was talk like a pirate for the rest of the show.
Did they fucking contribute enough to Patreon for us to talk to pirates?
Yeah. Well, they didn't contribute enough for us to stop, though, either.
Oh,
so.
okay.
We're stuck in the gray area here.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Works both ways.
Okay.
At first glance at this case, I was like, I thought it was going to be just a run-of-the-mill, fucking UFO guy. I seen some up there. But now that I got into it, I'm like, man, this I think is one of the first ever, where a guy just a cover up where they're just like, yeah,
like you mean, oh yeah, I think I see something up there,
There's something up there, boys.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I saw something.
You don't say, hey, bud.
Obviously this one, we're heading to our third favorite place in the Craig's Triangle, which is Fargo, North Dakota.
Wait, what are the other two?
West Virginia, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
And TBD.
Got two? We'll find the third.
Insert your hometown.
You need 3
here.
points to make a triangle.
Yeah.
So
Insert
now
your hometown
it's
here.
just Craig's line now.
Yeah. Zell, is there any way that you can plug in an automated voice for wherever the listener is listening to?
I'm sure there is some type of AI we can get used for that.
Favorite place is it's like Pascagoula, Missouri.
Like, oh, cool. That's where I'm from.
That's where
We just gotta make
No way.
We gotta make a video when Tom Green and Shatner made, where you just auto put in their name.
Yeah.
Smart.
All right, let's get into this one. I'm excited to kind of talk about it because it ties into Zell's little light propulsion theory too. We can get into a little later.
And I mean, North Dakota is pretty much Canada, so it's pretty much home for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if Canada came down and took North Dakota, nobody would.
We could take North
nobody would
Dakota,
stop.
Minnesota.
We already did. That's the thing.
Nobody would
Nobody
stop you.
knows.
Yeah,
There's lots of cows. Maybe the cows maybe you'd have trouble with the cows. I don't know, but I think cows outnumber people in North
We
Dakota.
got a few cow wranglers around here. We're good.
Oh yeah, it'll be fine. We'll go over better than the Emu Wars, I'm sure. This specific case file is it actually wasn't a very popular case for a long time, and it actually came to the public eye recently when they History Channel did their Project Blue Book kind of docudrama thing about Jalen Hynek and the his whole experience running that thing, and it was a dramatized version of Project Blue
Took a few liberties, spiced things up a bit.
Yeah. Little Hollywood magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so this one occurred in, the golden age of UFOs. So it's, October 1st, 1948, near everybody's favorite place, Fargo, North Dakota. And this incident involved a pilot named Lieutenant George F. Gorman.
Former heavyweight champ.
Inventor
Owner of the grill.
Of the less popular Gorman grill.
The Gorman grill. Never took off.
I wonder if he named all his kids George as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Even the girl, like Georgina.
I if your name is George, I think that's what you have to do, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
That's written down somewhere. And when they get at the hospital, like, oh, you have another kid named George? Oh, that kid's George. They just put it on. They just put it on the birth certificate.
They just come and ask. So, what do you want his middle name to be?
Yeah. And at the time, he was a lieutenant in the recently formed North Dakota Air National Guard. And so at this particular point in time, he was on exercises flying a P-51 Mustang, everybody's favorite World War II fighter.
And this guy was like a World War II veteran. Like, like tons of flights. Like,
I think he'd flown like transport planes and stuff before, but he was an aviator prior to this. Like he had like, flying planes. Well
experienced. And, you know, quite young as everyone was, 25 years old. We don't trust 25-year-olds to do jack and shit nowadays.
You got to have 9 certifications to do anything. And they're like,
9 certifications and you got to be 72 years old.
I'm pretty sure
this guy's World War vet at 25, probably got 6 kids. Fucking
1948. Like
he was a man at 13.
The Air National Guard. Yeah, if they're forming the Air National Guard, they're just like, we have all these planes that we made. Let's just put them in all the states and just like whatever.
He's only got another 10 years left. Too, right? I think fucking life expectancy wasn't very long back there, was it?
They gave all the planes to North Dakota because they're like, we beat down the Nazis, but those shifty Canadians, we got to be ready. So we're going to ship up all our P-51s up there and get you guys ready.
There's a funny bit in this story that we'll get into where he like specifically mentioned, he's like, it's not one of them Canadian vampires. And I was like, what? Like a specific Canadian plane? I was like, well, that was specific? Like, was that something they were worried about in North Dakota? That we had some vampire planes?
Those are the night fighter ones, right? And they have those specific like night flying planes of vampires.
Yeah, and they're like it's got 2 tails or something. I never knew about it.
It's a cool plane. Yeah, it's a super cool plane.
Cool looking plane. And he like specifically was like, it's not one of those. And I was like, what? I was
they've had problems with.
It wasn't those Canadian vampires. That guy named Zell. It wasn't one of them.
Got our own vampire squad. It's perfect.
Yeah. So on that specific night of October 1st, around 8:30 p.m., Gorman and his squadron that was accompanying him had just returned from a cross-country flight. So they were gone forth, back and forth. And they were he kind of decided like the rest of his squadron was going to go ahead and land at the nearest airport. And then Gorman decided kind of off the cuff to be like, you know what, it's getting into the evening, it's getting late. So, but it probably behooved me to rack up some night flying time just to put on the logs and put on that down on paper. So,
is that why he's doing it? Because he's like, I need to get some like log time in for my qualifications.
Yeah.
In my head, I was like, this motherfucker's just joyriding a plane. Like they just don't.
He could have been doing that too, and just be like
getting 2 birds stoned.
Yeah,
but it was a nice clear night, right? It's a perfect night to get some fucking night.
I thought this was like Coach Bombay showing up at the ice rink, and the fucking Zamboni driver just is like, "Oh yeah, you got 30 minutes, Bombay."
So yeah, he was going to log some night flying hours, and then he was like taking a couple laps around the local football stadium. But as he
while they're playing,
you gotta get your running.
Yeah, I mean, just make a couple circles. Everybody go
buzz the tower, buddy. Let's go.
He was thinking. He's like, if I was doing a bombing run,
that's in his mind. That's what he's practicing.
Yeah, 100%.
I hate that fucking football team.
As he's going up,
that's what you get for benching me, bud.
And so as he finished up his circle around the local football, he turned towards the airfield and he was going to go ahead and go in for a landing. And the tower, as he called into the tower told him like, hey, we see something like there seems to be like a taillight of another aircraft up in the air with you. And so Gorman kind of looked around, and the only aircraft that he actually noted visually or put his eyes on, he said there was a Piper Cub plane about 500 feet below him.
Probably the cutest named fucking plane on the planet.
Piper Cub.
Just a little Piper Club.
Yeah, they're just like, honestly, when you think of like little prop plane, exactly the one you think of.
Yeah, it was a personal plane, so it was like a little tiny thing. We said this before about like people just like in the 1940s and 50s. It seems like everybody just had a plane.
Like, I feel like everybody like in the middle of the United States just had a plane and we're just like flying around. Like we talked about the one guy that had his own airfield and he's like, whoa, why'd you put an airfield out here? Oh, everybody needs to, land their planes out here. And I'm like, who the fuck needs to land their planes? How many planes are there? People are just flying around. Like, how much are these? Like, I haven't even looked this up. Like, how much does a plane like this cost? Like,
now?
Do you rent it?
Or 1940?
Well,
Let's get to the bottom of it.
Proportionally. Like, like, how much does this cost to like,
All right, I'll look on eBay.
Yeah, I can find out. I need to know.
It's probably proportionally the same price now as like a small car.
$115,000 to $245,000 right now.
Holy shit!
Right now.
Right now. But like, how would you own one back then? I don't know. How would you? I
You
guess
could buy one for. There's some.
Well,
there's
I
some
got
older
news
ones
for you, bud. There's biddings at fucking like $5,000 right now on eBay. Let's go.
Oh shit!
Boys want a plane?
Well, we got a.
Yeah, let's get an ATT Piper Cub.
Yeah, let's go.
That's how we get around on pod trips.
We can log some flight time, log some night flying time.
That's how we die.
Gorman's looking around to find this other aircraft that the tower is telling him that they see. They see this light from another craft, and he's like, I don't see anything else right now.
Well, he specifically mentions the Piper Cub to them, and they're like, yeah, we see that. This isn't that.
Yeah. And then he looks around from the canopy from inside the cockpit and he sees like another light and he's like, oh, okay, I think I see what you guys are talking about. Let me go take a look at like what this is, because you guys don't have it on radar or anything. And as Gorman gets closer to this light, he realized that it's not an aircraft that he is familiar with. It's not an aircraft that he's ever seen or he's not sure what it is.
Well, he can't even really distinctly see anything but like some sort of emanating light from this thing. So he's just like, I have no fucking idea as he's flying up to it. Absolutely gobsmacked.
Yeah, it's just pretty much this.
That's great.
It's just
great description.
Okay.
It's just this bright light that he's looking at, and all the while he's in communication with the tower, kind of asking him like, "Hey, is there another plane up here with me? And is there something that I'm not seeing?" And the tower's telling him like, "No, there's only 2 planes in the air over Fargo right now. You buddy, and the other guy." Like,
and
the
this
Piper
is
Cub,
when the flashbacks start happening.
So when Gorman says that, and when he reported that he closed to within about 1,000 yards of this light, and he said that this object seemed to be only about 6 to 8 inches in diameter and was just emitting this brilliant, bright
6 to 8
light.
Inches?
Yeah,
it's tiny. How do you even decipher that in the sky?
Hey, listen, 6 to 8 inches is pretty fucking big, buddy. All right?
That's way above average. Okay.
Yeah.
That's way above the average.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, you'd know if you're looking at 6 to 8. Right?
So is that a real number though? 6 to 8? That's what he just, that wasn't 6 to 8 feet.
Yeah, but think about it though. Like, how many people could really make an accurate fucking distinction up there of the size?
That's like a big beetle. 6 inches. You know what I mean? You're 1,000 yards away. That thing's 6 to 8 inches. It's 6 to 8 inches big. Excuse me?
I think from 1,000 yards away, the guy's got no fucking clue.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point. That is such an absurd number to say. You're like,
well, I'm holding up my iPhone and it's about an iPhone and a half, eh? Like, what do you think, bud?
Yeah. He's looking down really quick.
Hold on, boys. Let me get my pecker out, eh?
Look up.
Yeah.
6 to 8. Oh, 6 to 8, bud.
Come on now.
I mean, that's the point that they made. It was just like,
this guy's sitting in the cockpit and he's like, well, you got a size on it? Yeah, she's about 6 to 8 inches there. fucking.
He's pinning it like this through the fucking. About this big, so 6 to 8. That's what I'm looking at here.
They got about here. Hey,
from 100 feet away.
Yeah. That's fucking great.
He never gets close enough to this thing. That's such an inaccurate description of
that's what I mean.
Distance. Like it must be like through at 100 yards on my thing. I'm looking at 6 to 8. So like that would be the only thing that makes sense to me is that if you're like, because that's such a weird descriptive. Like if I was like standing at the other edge of the football field from Zell and they're like, hey, how tall is that guy over there? I'd be like, I don't know.
Listen,
60
yeah, but you're
inches.
saying fucking football field, which is 100 yards.
Yeah. How far was he from this thing? I don't
1,000
think he ever got
yards.
close.
1,000 yards.
1,000 yards. So yeah. Like maybe he's
This is
joking. They're like, how
ridiculous.
big do you think it is? He's like, from here, it looks about
Well,
6 to 8
it's about like
inches.
1,000. Yeah, that's what it says. It says
That's what it says. I thought it was funny.
He got within like 500 feet or 1,000 yards, whatever.
He's like, it's about 12 now.
Well, because like he pulled like a tight turn. He
It's
pulled a
getting
tight turn.
bigger.
It's growing.
He just has no fucking depth perception at all. They're like, that's how just traveling works. It's like, this is why you were on strictly
The object
transport.
seems to be appearing to grow.
Good thing they had all those World War II pilots eating carrots, eh? Like, that's fucking guy's got good eyes. He knows what
This
he's looking
guy's
at.
like, he's flying. He's like, they got some sort of ant army coming at us.
He said like he made a turn and he approached the thing from about like head on at about 5,000 feet. And then he said that the thing went like 500 feet above him, over his
shot
plane.
up, yeah.
And then
Like
he's
rapidly?
saying, well,
Yeah.
he was going over his, like, so it's just like, it's just passing over him, at 500 feet. And that's when he's like,
okay.
he's like 6 to 8 inches. Like that's what he reckoned.
Did it look like it was like maneuvering to go above him, or was that just its normal trajectory?
So when Gorman starts approaching this light, Gorman claims that the object appeared to be controlled by some type of intelligence, or that its maneuvers seem to be intelligently dictated by something. Because like once he started like kind of maneuvering to get into place, like where he could better see it or like kind of follow it, he said that this light seemed to match every one of his moves and then exhibited like remarkable speed and agility for something that is just flying around up there. He's like, this is something that I don't know what this is.
And he
But it's
commented,
still like following our rules of propulsion, right? Like it's not like Tic Tac where it's like this doesn't make
Well-
any fucking sense. Like it looks like it's
no, some of the turns and stuff, like I can't remember exactly the term he used, but he said he believed this object operated under the forces of inertia,
The way
but
it
to an
turned.
extreme, the way it turned, but to an extreme that humans couldn't capable of, because this motherfucker tried to copy its turn and passed out briefly.
He passed out
trying
in
to
the
keep
air.
up with it. Yeah, I passed out and it was like, I came back. He's like, oh shit. I can tone that turn down a little.
It's just like those roller coaster or those slingshot videos where person passes out in midair, except you're in a jet 5,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, chasing a fucking light source.
ball of light.
You come
Right?
to,
And
you're
there's so-
upside down, the plane's falling from the sky.
Yeah, and you're like, holy shit. So like he's as he's trying to pace it, he can't pace this thing and follow it because it's flying too fast, turning too great of a speed. So he's like, okay, well, I'm going to start trying to cut it off. Right.
But it's still like moving somewhat towards our like nothing at that time was capable of moving like that, but it still looks like it's moving like our technology would be.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes. It operates. Yeah. So it turns
Yeah.
like it's something, but it's too extreme for
our current technology at
well,
this
no,
time.
for
'Cause
like human, a human.
Well, but I'm wondering though, because it makes me wonder, like this time would be perfect. This is post paperclip, right? Like this is right post paperclip. Like this could be some fucking technology that nobody had seen yet in 1948, right? I mean, I'm not saying that we have that technology even now. I mean, maybe we do. We just
Well, they
haven't
had the
seen it yet,
Glocka.
but-
End of the war. Took that tight. Now you got
Glock was a big was yeah,
but
it
no,
was
you
pretty big line.
but you got a 6 or 8 inch Glocka now.
Well above average.
Well above average.
Yeah.
Flying around.
They're like, you'll never be able to get a good Glock in your pocket. And he's like,
We watch.
we all got pocket Glockas now.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. That's so funny.
So as Gorman's trying to catch up to this light,
Wait,
like he is
From now on, when anyone asks me, hey, how tall are you? I'm going to go, that depends how far you are from me. Are we talking right up close, nose to nose? Or are you like 1,000 yards away?
with 500 feet. Like, as Gorman's trying to catch up to this light that he's this unidentified. I mean, it's unidentified. It's a UFO. When he's trying to catch up to this UFO, Yeah, he's pacing this thing. He's pushing the P-51 to like its limits. Like it is going as fast.
He's pushing it to the danger zone.
Yeah, he's in the danger zone. Like he's in 400 miles
Kenny
per hour.
Loggins is playing.
Blasting.
Yeah.
Right. Kenny Loggins, Stan Bush, mega mix.
Gorman's living dangerously right now.
Yeah.
And so he figures like he sees this he sees the UFO start to bank left. And so he anticipates this. And so he says like, okay, I'm going to be able to cut this corner real quick and I'll be able to catch up to it. So as he starts to cut the corner, he says that this light basically breaks a sharp right turn, doubles back and starts coming at him straight on.
Oh, fuck.
And like to the point where Gorman is like, I like he didn't have any time to get out of the way. Like this thing's coming straight at him. So like it broke so close to his thing. Like he actually ducked inside of his cockpit, thinking the thing was just gonna like clip off like the top of his plane. And
it's like it's trying to scare him away.
And it just
fuck off.
And it just
your
went
phone
right over his
rocks. Yeah.
So, you know, he actually like put the Mustang into a bit of a dive, thinking that he's pretty much like, this is going to be a midair collision. Like I'm going to tank this thing. And, but he said that it just went, it just like passed right over, pretty close over his canopy. And then he was able to like whip around his shoulder and he saw the light make another left turn and then arc around for another head-on pass with him.
Fucking midair chicken.
Well, yeah, it's
Gorman's
like,
not backing down.
Instead of Gorman having to break away this time, he says that the light, as it was coming towards him, just broke straight up and disappeared. Just went, took off vertically and took off. And so it starts climbing up.
Gorman ventured to the brinks of space.
And this is where Gorman's like,
the first manned propelled spacecraft.
You're not ready for this conspiracy.
Yeah.
Gorman is like, not today, buddy. And he said that he climbed in pursuit of this thing, which is, you know, you're going into a straight up, straight climb.
Insane.
And, so he got up to about 14,000 feet, like purely vertical, and then that's where he stalled. And like,
nice.
Pretty close. Which is like, we'll talk about, like we've talked about the Mantell incident, and the Mantell incident is basically that. Like that's what happened. You know, the guy was, or you know, that's what they think happened, is that he climbed up after chasing a UFO. And we've talked about that one before, where the pilot was climbing after the UFO, and then the prevailing theory is that he blacked out and then, crashed, went down into an uncontrolled dive, couldn't pull out of it. But, Gorman here was fortunate enough that just he couldn't catch it. Like it just stalled out and managed to get out of the stall and then just never saw that object again after it took off into the, gone into the atmosphere, gone.
Another amazing thing is like this went on for like almost half an hour.
Yep.
Him chasing this thing around the skies. And that, I had read that the people in the Piper Cub had actually landed their plane, headed to the control tower because they had seen it in the air too, and had got up, and they're all like in the control tower with like binoculars, like watching this go down, being like on the radio with him, being like, "This is fucking crazy." He's zipping, zagging.
You had the tower operator,
zipping and zagging.
Yeah, you had two tower operators who were witnessing Gorman, for better, lack of a better, dogfighting with this UFO. You had Lloyd Jensen and H.E. Johnson, and then you had the Piper Cub. You had the pilot and the passenger of the Piper Cub, who is Dr. A.E. Cannon, and the passenger Einar Nielsen.
Why did we stop using like just the first two initials and last name? Like why? Like what? Can I go by that?
Yeah.
Well, we had AC Slater for a while, so I mean,
it just didn't catch on, let's bring it back.
Yeah.
I'll be RJ, sure.
RJ Zell.
Yeah, RJ Zelznick.
I got too many.
Me too. I'd be AAL. Al.
Gorman is so rocked by what his experience. Like they said that it actually took him like a couple passes to actually land the plane to come back in for a landing when he was, the chase had concluded.
Well, it's because he's gotten flashbacks of being up there with the Luftwaffe. Like, guys, fucking get me out of here.
He's just passed out. He's just been the first man in space. He's really,
guy's pretty much the fucking last starfighter.
This guy thought the Earth was flat the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, as he was breaching 13.5, he was like, "This is just one small step for man." And then he blacked out.
And the reports of Gorman being, very disturbed by this are given to us by Major D.C. Jones, who's the commander of the 178th Fighter Squadron at Hector International Airport, the one that he was landing at, and that it's just something that you're like, oh, like I couldn't catch this thing. I don't know how you would react to this, where you're like, you're flying probably at the time like one of the most like advanced like fighter planes, kind of like,
and you're an experienced pilot, and you're like, there's no way this thing can. You're like, one, it's not the Canadians. It's not the Canadian
concept
vampires.
of measurements or fucking distance whatsoever. You want to know why he passed out? Because he got up there and he's like, why is everybody so small now?
Yeah.
Why are the houses so small?
The house is
What's
6
going on
inches
down
tall.
there? What the fuck?
I'm growing.
Yeah, what the fuck? Just
It's so small. They've done something to me. I'm huge. I'm too heavy. I'm going down.
Told you, you're not ready for this conspiracy.
Dipshit.
The further in the atmosphere you get,
You just start stretching.
the smaller Earth gets, and the bigger you get.
yeah, that's how it works.
It's a story of God came to be.
Oh shit! Yeah. That's why you're not allowed on the moon, because you're giants. The Earth is just like this big when you get there.
You can squish it with your finger.
Yeah, right. Anyone gets up
I'm
there,
squishing your head. I'm squishing your head.
planet. But no, it's like he had to, obviously, because of the length and everyone involved, he had to submit a report. And like he's talking, he's like, no sound, no exhaust rail, no visible means of propulsion. Like he's flying.
You say that. It's interesting though, because what you're saying with Zell, like he did notice though, as the fucking craft started moving faster, the lights got brighter.
Yeah, as this thing would give a little like get up and go, it would brighten up.
And that's what Zell was talking about.
Yes.
Propulsion last time with fucking bright lights.
And the lights,
maybe
are
the lights
means.
are the propulsion.
Lights are the propulsion. So you give it more juice, shines a little brighter.
Yeah, I like it.
Interesting.
So like 3 days later, you had on October
Flying at
4th,
400 miles per hour, couldn't catch this thing.
No,
It's. I remember at some point he said that he's following it and it's getting away from him.
yeah. Like it is this thing. Like he estimated was going way faster than he was, and he just like couldn't catch up to
So wait,
it.
is he in a prop plane?
Yeah, a P-51 Mustang.
That seems faster than I thought they could go for some reason.
They're pretty fast. There's big old engine on that thing.
It makes sense, but I just, for some reason, when I think of planes from World War II,
Yeah.
Well, you think under.
I
Well,
feel
I
like
just,
the
I feel
Wright
like
brothers.
they just got the jet going. Like they just invented the jet right at the end of the war. I was like, oh, so these prop planes, what are they going, 200-300 knots? Nope.
Yeah.
500? Jesus, okay.
Yeah.
P-51 is such a smart looking plane. Like
It looks badass.
I love when they put
it's cool.
when they put the awesome logos, graphics on them.
Because that's more improved than the Spitfire, right?
Yeah, like
Wasn't
that
that
one.
the
The
Hurricane?
P-51. The P-51 was like that. That was like the World War II.
Yeah, that was
the
our
workhorse. Like that was at the end, but it was one of the advanced. I think in the European theater, except for like the P-38 Lightning, maybe like the. It was kind of like
beautiful,
that
man.
was like the toughest plane.
What a fucking cool looking
for the
plane.
Army.
Yeah,
I guess
it's really
the
cool.
Air Force hadn't been formed yet. So
And
like,
this guy was pushing that thing to its limits.
Dude, you got that plane, and then it evolves into the modern Cessna. Just a shitty
Yeah, you
little
castrated it. You fucking
Destroyed
castrated
it.
it.
Yeah.
it's, right?
I'm just saying they look so cool.
Douglas
and then
made the P-51. I think.
but then you just
Yeah, but they
now,
should've just all
modern
planes.
Cessnas look so shitty. Like they're so boring.
Yeah, like
looking.
that. They should have just kept that. Everyone should
They're
have
not fighter
look like that.
planes.
Well, they should be.
They should
Dan.
all
be,
look
yeah.
like fighter planes. Kind of
Right.
like
Absolutely.
guns. All guns should look like assault guns.
Well, they have like those racing planes. Like they have the racing plane.
All guns should look like assault guns because they're all cool. now.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
I
Like
see
a
that.
Nerf gun,
I
assault gun.
can't
Exactly.
I can't argue with that logic. It's perfect.
Yeah,
I
no.
get it.
When you're a kid, you don't want these fake toys.
You want the
Like,
fucking
want the
badass
real
assault
thing,
Nerf gun.
right? I want to look walking down the street and see a kid in the yard and not sure if he's got an M16
Or
or a
a
Nerf
BB
gun.
gun, yeah.
That's what I want,
Yeah.
right? That's the
Then
world
you
I
can
want to live in.
You can
you
move
know-
down here, buddy.
You know, because they have a fucking, because they have that little orange tip on them.
no.
Oh, you spray
I
paint.
don't
The first
want
thing you do, you spray paint that. black.
Dude,
No, you can pull them off.
Dude, I remember back in my day, like freaking, I went over to somebody's house and they had like, they used to have the little electric, like the battery operated squirt guns, right? The ones that went,
the little Mac 10.
right?
yeah.
And they had a full
I-
like MP5. It was like an MP5 one.
cool.
It was amazing. It was so cool. And I was like,
They had a little Mac 10 one. It
No,
was
no
cool.
orange tips or nothing. You know, back in those days.
No.
Now you're getting shot for that.
days.
Now you're
dead.
definitely getting
You're
murdered.
definitely dead.
Yeah.
No thanks.
So yeah, so there isn't a formal investigation is like opened, and they'll be like, okay, like we need to take a report from Gorman because this is nuts. All these people saw this, and like what could this possibly be? So an intelligence unit headed by Major Paul Kubala arrived in Fargo and questioned Gorman and sat down with him along with Cannon and
within
the other
how
two
long?
controllers, like 3 days,
Like not even
like
a
2
day.
days, like 3
no,
days.
it was fast,
October 4th,
man.
like October 1st was the event, and then October 4th is when they arrived. To go.
They
talk
were
to him.
on this shit quick.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm curious if October 1st, 1948 was a Friday and then they were there on a Monday. Let's check. What day was October?
I think I tried to look it up. I think I actually tried to look that up.
What is it, 48?
Yeah, within 48 hours.
1948.
Or within 48 hours.
1948.
Yeah.
Or 49. Was it 49?
48.
Buddy, it was a Friday. That's
Yeah,
the only
they're
reason
Monday.
they weren't there the next day. Is they're like, fuck.
Weekend. Nah,
It's a
fuck.
weekend. We'll be there Monday morning.
Yep. Off the clock, buddy.
Because I was like, 2 days. Yeah,
US
100%.
I'm working on the weekend. You talking about?
Monday morning, first thing.
So that's really funny.
Hey, we do the deep dive on alien theories theorizing, right? We leave no stone unturned.
Yeah, it's there on a Monday. So, and this is the Air Force intelligence, right? So this is federal. The Air National Guard would have been state, like it would have been like state level. So you have like the federal government coming in and being like, "Hey, what the fuck?" And so
Yeah, why
they
were
go
you
ahead
flying erratically for half an hour above the skies, fucking
man.
buzzing football Friday night lights? You're buzzing the fucking college game all night.
So Gorman went ahead and gave his
College plays on Saturday.
Oh, sorry.
That's true. Yeah. That's right. Gorman went ahead and gave his statement to the Air Force intelligence officer, and trying to give as much description as he could as to what was going on up there. So commenting on the object and its appearance and its description, he said that it emitted no sound. So there's no audible sound that he could hear. There's no odor, like he couldn't like an exhaust trail. Like it didn't give off any exhaust, so he's like he couldn't smell that.
He's sitting there in his cockpit. I get nothing.
It doesn't smell like Nazis.
Well, if he's in his cockpit, all he's smelling is the engine of his own plane. Just fucking burning fume. Because are those open air? Or they have a...
No, they got a fucking cockpit.
slide for it?
Cockpit.
No, yeah.
He flew 14,000 feet and he would have died.
You have a mask on.
It would have been freezing.
He would have fucking frozen.
Wear a toque.
I guess when you get that big, it's not
North
as
Dakota,
cold.
bud. You got to wear a toque. You got your earmuffs on. You
He
got
had
it
a
all.
scarf.
bud.
Oh, I got my mitts.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm at 13,000 feet. Better put on my mitts.
And so Gorman, again said that, he was pushing this Mustang to over 400 miles per hour. And this object not only outran him, but also outmaneuvered him at like every spot. Like it was not even, the thing didn't even look taxed, or you could say it was just effortless, that it was a way that it was kind of just almost toying with him. Like it's just like, yeah, okay, like you want to do this? Like I think it was like at some point it was like mimicking like his maneuvers and stuff, kind of just like pacing him and just stuff. And then whenever he would speed up, like we said, like it would speed up, or it seemed to be, anyways. And so like quotes from Gorman are like. We have some quotes from like his reports, and it's like, I am convinced that there was definite thought behind its maneuvers. I am further convinced that the object was governed by the laws of inertia because its acceleration was rapid but not immediate. And although it was able to turn fairly tight at considerable speed, it still followed a natural curve. So from his perspective, like this thing was just like, it was banking. Like it wasn't like just like making 90-degree turns or stuff. Yeah, it was stuff that he couldn't do in his plane, but it still seemed to be doing obeying the laws
Now-
of inertia on our planet, like as we know them.
yeah, but like with banking, if you had a better plane, can you bank harder? But wouldn't you exert the same amount of G forces on yourself though?
Yeah, you would, but like
Right.
it's
So
like
if he's banking so hard that he's blacking out and he's saying this thing's turning way tighter in a natural curve, even if you were in a better plane, wouldn't you would experience the same amount of G forces? So like, couldn't you?
but you're talking about you're taking
I guess so.
like Andrew's point. It's either technological or you're thinking in human terms.
I'm
Like
thinking in human terms.
if you're thinking of it's a human piloting this, then yes. But if it's artificial intelligence is my go-to because that's how I go. But
That's
with
who
the
you
size
are.
too, it kind of makes sense, right?
That makes
That
sense.
is.
But it could also be up, if it's 6 to 8 inches, it's a very tiny person, and like maybe they're just used to very higher G-force. I don't know.
Those people from Orion's
It's like a
belt,
Lego man, like a little Lego
Yeah.
dude, man. Those guys can take serious G's.
Hey, before we get into the the official reports and what is said and where this goes, why don't we take a break? But before we go to break, I had heard that there was maybe some like unreleased documentary footage like on the scene. I think maybe they had body
Or
cams. or
dramatic
something.
recreations here. Is that
Right?
what you're
Zell,
talking
did we
about?
have anything
We have found something
through the?
through the
ATT archives.
The dark web.
ATT archives. Yeah, it's been submitted. It's been encrypted, end-to-end encryption. We're going to decipher that right now.
Oh, hey there, George. Welcome back, buddy. Glad to have you back. You made it home safe from the war, eh? That's great. What can we do for you?
Oh, yeah, it's really good to be home.
Oh, yeah, Georgie boy. We're going to get you back in the air. Don't you worry, bud.
Oh, thanks, gents. It's just, it's a nice night out there. I'd love to get up there and fly some miles,
Yeah, Georgie, I know you got to get them night hours, eh? So we got one of them gassed up, ready to go, eh?
Oh, you fellas are just too sweet.
Geez, hey, George, just to touch base here quick, buddy. You're not really having those crippling nightmares or headaches or anything going on like crazy like that anymore, are you? Hey, pal? Georgie?
Oh, just when my wife's talking,
Oh, yeah. Oh, jeez. You're always been a kidder, eh?
cracking you up, George. Oh, okay.
All right, give me
You've
those
always been a
keys.
kidder, bud. Here you go, pal. All right, but hey, listen. So Georgie, he's about to go up in the sky there. You're going to see him. We're going to go to the tower quick. And we're going to get that, remember that big welcome back balloon we got for him there? That really nice one from the corner store?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. It's perfect. I think it should be good. We put it up there.
Yeah, so as soon as he's by the tower there, we just cut it, let it up there, and he'll see it, and and we'll get on the air and say, hey, welcome back, Georgie. We're happy to have you.
Oh,
But
he'll like that, I'm sure. Yeah.
I think so too, eh?
Hold on. So when I go I'll say, Tower, this is Gorman. And then someone should be like, you guys should direct me to it. Hey, you see that? Like really like pointing. You see anything strange up there?
Yeah.
Okay, Tower, this is Gorman.
Go ahead, Gorman.
Oh, I'm just having the nicest flight up here, It's just lovely. Thanks again.
Hey, release the balloon there, eh?
Oh, I got it. Yeah. So it's going up.
Hey, Gorman there, bud. You don't happen to see anything strange up in the sky, hey, bud, hey?
No, nothing. Just a little cub down there. Just clear skies. Nothing to report. None of them Canadian vampires,
Nothing like that, hey? Well, just take a quick look around. You never know, eh?
Oh, Tower, this is Gorman.
Go ahead, Gorman.
Is there anything else up in the sky with me?
I don't know, Gorman. You tell us, bud, eh?
There's something up here with me.
Whoa, hey.
Hey, Tower, it's General Milton.
Go ahead, General Milton.
I have word that we have an unannounced takeoff from the runway, and I was just wondering who decided to go up on a late night training mission, or what happened here.
Oh, we just got Georgie up there in the sky. Remember that big balloon that we got you to pitch on? Yeah.
It's not Georgie Gorman, is it?
Of course it is.
He suffers from crippling nightmares, and he's actually been grounded from all air travel.
Oh, Cap. The only way to get back to it is getting up there, right? Like, it's just gotta.
Okay, well, let him get up there, but don't play any pranks on him.
Oh, of course.
He's unstable.
It's Gorman!
Hey,
I'm in pursuit!
hey,
It's
Georgie, hey,
What, Georgie? Maybe just take a step back there, bud. Just get a good
Georgie.
look at whatever's up there with you, yeah?
Yeah. Take a couple deep breaths, buddy.
I'm going to turn it around! I can't pace it, it's too fast!
Georgie, why don't we work on those rescue breaths, hey, bud? 3 seconds in and 1 second out,
It's
eh?
coming right at me! Just missed me!
Well, I think we might, give Georgie a set of the dizzies here. I'm a little worried about the guy.
Well, it sounds like he's sitting right on the edge.
Hopefully he'll sucker himself out here.
Machine guns!
Hey, pal, we put him in the unarmed ship, eh?
Oh yeah, there's no bullets or nothing on that plane. We made sure of that.
Okay.
So
It's going up!
is he making
It's
those
headed
sounds
back
with
for
his?
space! It's
He's
headed for
making those
space!
sounds with his mouth.
I think so. You know, the weirdest thing about this whole thing, hey, bud, is the plane hasn't even really moved. It's just hovering.
I'll do a shot of a fucking plane just flying so peacefully.
Yeah.
And then Zell, you should come back in and be like, how long has he been up there? How long has this been going on? You'd be like, half an hour.
Just a bunch of
We can't
airplane
get him
sounds for a
down.
while.
Yeah. No, you'll
Also,
be
he's been
like,
going on.
he's been back on the runway for an hour. He's just making the noises.
Yeah.
Hey, Tower. General Milton again.
Go ahead, General.
You got Georgie boy still out there flying.
Well, I mean, he was in the air for a good 27 minutes, but I mean, for the last hour, he's just been sitting on the runway there making airplane sounds.
Someone should go, oh, he's working through something.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
I told you Georgie had crippling nightmares.
Oh, he's just working through it now. It's okay. We just let him go. He'll tire himself out. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how it
Does
is.
somebody maybe want to call his wife, hey?
And that's pretty much how it went.
And
That is the official tower audio that we have
yeah,
there.
I mean, that's
I mean, I'm going to say that's better than the Discovery Channel's one.
yeah. Mhm. And
Probably
we'll
more
be,
realistic too.
we'll be right back after this beer break. We're back.
So with Gorman making his statement and then the subsequent investigations that went into this, because nobody knew what he saw up there. Nobody was really sure. And even though you had, this is one of the sightings that we like because it has corroboration. You had at least four other people. And then by some reports, like there were other people who witnessed him chasing this object through the night sky. It's obviously something that was interesting. And to me, when I pulled this one up, I was like, hey, this is kind of nuts that this one was seemingly.
How many other people saw it, or they just saw how upset he was?
Yeah.
Well, he was awfully upset. There obviously was something up there, but had to be.
I'm surprised that this one didn't catch as much traction because it was. I guess it is overshadowed to some extent by the Mantell UFO incident we talked about, which happened in January 1st of that year. Or January 7th of that same year. But that would be like, well, that's nuts because it's like two in the same year of people chasing UFOs.
Stuff that was out
those two incidents should be spoken within the same sentence. Like you just put those two together. So now there are some explanations which have been put forth about what possibly Gorman would have saw, besides it being, perhaps some kind of extraterrestrial intelligently controlled craft. So one of the things that came out is within a few days, Gorman back in Fargo, you had the Air Weather Service, which actually kind of put out a statement that they said that they had released a type of lighted weather balloon about 10 minutes before.
A tactical weather balloon.
So weather balloons were big back then.
What size was it? Was it between 6 and 8 inches?
about 10 minutes before, they said they released this balloon. Now, weather balloons, this is a thing. Like balloons were big back then. We had Project Mogul, like that was happening.
They're still big, man. Just a couple months ago.
We just shot 3 fucking ones down for no reason.
We love balloons. And, but of course, like if you're thinking like any kind of normal person, you'd be like, oh, like a balloon, but it was maneuvering, like this thing he was chasing. You'd be able
it was at one point, he said, at pushing the fucking plane to 400 miles per hour, it was pushing away from him to the point where he was like, the only way I can fucking catch this thing is it's starting to bank, and I'll bank earlier and try to cut him off or it off. That's what he said. And he did. And he was reporting to air traffic, and they're going to say balloon.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
So yeah. What made you think this is, it couldn't have been a balloon. Like it was moving like this. So added on to that, compounded into the explanation, is that you had some investigators noted that Jupiter, the planet, had been showing exceptionally bright at this time in the night sky, and like the few days, like those days.
They were like Venus. They couldn't say Venus in retrograde, so they're like, what other planets up there tonight?
But the explanation kind of goes that like maybe those two things, like the lighted balloon, like the lighted piece on the balloon, and then Jupiter like shining bright, may have like combined to make this whole experience seem like Gorman was actually chasing,
sprinkling a little PTSD.
Yeah.
That Gorman was chasing the balloon, and then like he went past it, and just his perspective and his perception from his cockpit, it's like his own maneuvers, like just the way that he was moving, seemed to have the thing going fast, which we kind of saw during now you reminded me like of the balloon stuff where they said like, oh, it's going really fast and blah blah blah, but it's like, no, it's like it's everybody looking on the camera like, oh, that thing's traveling so fast. Like, no, it's the camera, like the camera moving at a certain speed, and then you see that thing and whatever.
The difference is with that and this is that's like cameras on the ground, and this is
a child's balloon. 8 inches.
And this is a motherfucker in a plane that's built for speed, and he's chasing it. And then the like whole story for me is like, cause like the whole story of them being like, it's a mix of a balloon and Jupiter, and he got a little mixed up, and a fucking big old whoopsie, right? It doesn't make sense when you look at like all the turns and stuff he's making, because like at any point Jupiter is a fixed star, not moving, right? Light source balloon that's just floating there. They're saying he's flying by it, and when he flies by, it's the turbulence from the plane is throwing this balloon around. Well, balloons don't just fucking then travel at 500 miles per hour, in front of a plane after you fly past it. And then he's making a turn, gets mixed up, and he's like, there's Jupiter after it. It's so far away, 6 to 8 inches. And then Jupiter just readjusts in the sky straight up, and he's like, I got to go to space to chase it. Right? Like, but Jupiter doesn't buzz right above the head. Jupiter doesn't like drop below you. The balloon doesn't drop below. Like, it's just this like wash of this thing of being like, this is what it is.
For this long, you had, right? For that length of the encounter.
Yeah. For 27 minutes.
Like even for fucking, what do you say, ball lightning? Ball lightning doesn't last for 27 minutes.
Well, and you would think if this is a bit of Jupiter, in the control tower looking, and he's like flying in the wrong direction. He's flying at Jupiter, and the fucking balloon's still in the sky. They would have been like, well, we're seeing the light behind you. Looks to us like you're flying at a star, my friend. Right? Like there's none of that. And this is someone who has a lot of air experience. And like, I mean, Project Sign was there, and they investigated this and look.
When you say that he has a lot of air experience, the majority of this man's air experience has been involved with fucking combat. So when he's in the air, there's confrontation.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe that plays into it a little bit, that now that he's in the air, he's anticipating confrontation, even when it's not there. So when he does see some type of anomaly,
a little like ready for anything kind of thing.
Yeah, like he's just like fucking hyper vigilant, right? Like he sees something and automatically assumes, and his brain goes to being like, oh, there's danger up there.
Okay, sure. I'll concede to that.
I'm not arguing for it. I'm just saying
I
maybe.
concede to that
Like,
point of someone just being hyper vigilant. Just experienced we're a year after the worst closure. No, a couple years after now. It's 1948. The thing for me is, though, there's one thing to be ready for anything, and then there's one thing to think you're chasing something, and to be describing the movements that this other craft is doing, right? You're talking about someone who's full on fucking delusional at this point. And if that was the case, this guy would be grounded. And we know that it wasn't the case. He goes on to be a fucking colonel. Like he goes on to have a long fucking career.
Wow.
So it's like, if this guy was delusional every time he's up in the air, he's fucking going nuts and seeing these things.
Well, but he obviously saw something that maybe triggered something, you know?
Well, he goes on to have a
but-
long career only because he followed the advice of the Air Material Command, which told him after Gorman actually received some information from a kind of a weather observer, kind of an enthusiast named George Sanderson, that basically said that the time and the altitudes didn't fit and the wind direction was wrong for it to be a balloon. And Gorman kind of went on and said, like, yeah, like what I saw wasn't a balloon or whatever. The Air Material Command, it's reported that they warned Gorman, like they verbally warned him, that say like not to divulge any more information about this event, or you would be subject to court martial. So Gorman going ahead and took that and just, you know,
he never ever commented about this again. Now, close friends of his, it's been reported through friends of friends and reporters that like people who have known him or are close to him have said that he has said and has always maintained that wasn't a fucking balloon. Right? But this one's crazy to me because I'm like, this is like, I would love for the congressional UFO hearings to look into this one, because obviously they had more data on it. And this is, to me, when you look at this one and what we know with like cover-ups and stuff, they just told this guy to stop fucking talking. Obviously he saw something and it was like, shut the fuck up. It was a weather balloon. You made a mistake. You got stuck between the planets, right? Keep your mouth shut. And they moved him through the ranks because he followed rank and file, right? Like he's like, yep, all right. Yes, sir. That guy's a patriot. Talking about patriots last week. This guy's a patriot.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me that like kind of the military would come in and tell him like, hey, be quiet. Because it's like around this time, you have so much stuff going on that it's like, this could have been some other super secret project. Like this could have been a Project Mogul. This could have been something like, you know, one of the myriad of other special projects that they had going on, like nuclear detection balloons and all of that stuff. Like it could have been something like that. And they were probably just trying to, you know, I could assume that they were just trying to play it safe. Maybe like that's, I'm just arguing on their,
I'm telling you right now, I've never been more sure that this wasn't a balloon. There's no way. There's no way that was a balloon with the original descriptions of his report. Balloons, there's no fucking jet streams that take them on intelligent flight paths, right? Where they can fool pilots. You know what I mean? Like to fool Jupiter and a balloon in the sky is fucking ludicrous to me. He chased it straight up. That's the only portion where I could be like, maybe at that point, but then he went straight up because he saw Jupiter, but he knew he was going straight up. It's not like he was like confused. He knew what he was doing. He was chasing the object up.
And
a tiny balloon.
Yeah. And again, it surprises me that the Mantell UFO
6 to 8 inches isn't tiny.
Well above average.
Discuss this.
Above average size balloon.
Yes.
It was just the air. All through the sky.
It's just jet stream. Just like it was just like going along on the jet stream.
That I can subscribe to.
But how like the Mantell incident isn't brought up like along with this one is crazy, because it's like January 7th, 1948. Like the almost exact same thing happened. Mantell in the same fucking plane, like a F-51D Mustang, like same plane almost, you know? And like, how are they not just like, he's like, hey, yeah, Mantell saw something. I saw, and Mantell went on, like after this, we talked about Mantell's like career as a, but like his whole UFO thing. Like he wanted to do a bunch of talks, and he investigated what was the other one? It was the one on the West Coast, the Washington one.
I don't remember.
We talked about that one. The one where the guy got his like dog melted or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Kenneth Arnold or whatever. Oh no, the island.
Oh no, maybe I'm thinking of Kenneth Arnold actually. Yeah, because
That's where his
Kenneth
dog
Arnold,
went overboard or something.
Shoot,
Been a
I
while.
can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah,
It was him and his son and his dog.
right.
Yeah.
So, like Kenneth Arnold went to, so same thing, like Kenneth Arnold sighting, like the, OG UFO, like one of the very first ones, if not the first one, to see actually flying saucers kind of, like that was the year before, like that was 1947. So it's like, I don't know what's going on where you have these two events, like, months apart, but like in the same year. And they should both be. And I'm on Drayton's side. Like, I would like a congressional investigation to like reopen, like what the heck's going on with this one.
Let's
like
see the
two
reports from this, like the original reports from this event, man, would be phenomenal to see.
And the fact that it's like, you had multiple witnesses seeing this thing, chasing these things. And like, what are they? I mean, to me, it sounds, a lot similar to the reports of Foo Fighters, like that whole phenomenon, where you have these bright lights that are pacing World War II fighter planes. Like, is it like, do these extraterrestrials have some kind of preoccupation with our World War II, the P-51 Mustang? Like, that's a nice plane. Like, it's like they're just like following them around everywhere they go.
Well, it's our peak technology at the time, right? So they want to know about it. They want to see it.
One of our most, I don't know, it's peak technology, but it's like prolific. I still like the P-38 Lightning. That's still my favorite. Yeah. I mean, you got vampires up there too. Why they want to pay that?
Right, like the pulsing he described when this thing moved, the light got brighter. Right, balloons don't do that.
Yeah, it's something like because
I remember like
if it's a Mylar balloon, the reflection of the light.
Well, because it's like I'm saying like I could see it happening. Like I can conceive of a situation where he fly, like he said, it came right at when he came at it the first time. Like he said, it was coming right towards him and it went right over his head. Like it went right over his head at 500 feet. Right.
Sure.
So he
just
lost
like that
sight
Colombian model. That Colombian model one, that could be a balloon. That 100%. I'll agree with you on that one. Where it's a stationary, where you don't really know because the plane's moving. You get a side shot close by. You're like, I don't know what that was.
And that plane was also moving considerably. So the model plane the model in the plane, her plane, not the model plane, was moving considerably slower than probably
the Mustang.
Than the Mustang. Mustang's moving like 400. They're probably like not that fast. Like maybe 100.
Confiscated Nazi technology.
That's the only thing it could Nazi be. Technology.
That is 6 to 8 inches long.
Try note that.
That's what it was.
Yeah, pocket to clock.
Pocket clock.
Yeah.
Zell fucking hit it on the head.
Because that's the only thing for me in the whole case is the size of it. If he referred to it as, it's legit like a tea saucer, like a little fucking saucer plate. That's how big it is. And it's
at 1,000. I wonder if that's
16.
I wonder if there was
like a mid-sized dinner plate.
And this would be something
8 inches?
we would
dinner plate's 12 inches,
know.
Dan.
Like saying like a small like a appetizer.
Dinner plate in Texas is 18 inches.
Like a
fucking platter.
Like an appetizer plate.
Yeah.
Like,
1 pound of meat in Texas is 4 pounds of meat. I'm just saying there's the fact that it was so small. I don't know. What is that? Is that like the first drone?
Yeah.
Some miniature drone, alien drone? Because of all the ones we talk about, it's erratic movement, 0 to 1,000 miles an hour in a blink of an eye, or 50,000 feet to sea level.
Okay.
And this one seems it's moving fast but predictable. Seems like,
but reasonable.
Okay, so hold on. Listen to this. When flying, the pilot needs to know an aircraft's estimated size. They do so by multiplying the total number of inches measured by the scale of miles to inches. So possibly he was taking a measurement, being like, I'm this far out, it's 6 to 8 inches. So
what does that translate to then?
So multiplying the total number of inches.
What's our flying aircraft calculator?
So how
all you got to do is cross, multiply, and divide.
Yeah, I got to calculate.
Throw a little bed mass in there.
How far did he say he was?
1,000 yards.
1,000. How many miles is that?
Well, he's 1,000 yards, but also 500 feet when it came above him. So it depends when he said it was 6 to 8 inches.
Yeah.
Even at 500 feet.
Yeah. So in that case, you should probably put pi in there. Hey?
Yeah,
pie it up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've already lost.
Avogadro's number.
there's,
Throw that in there.
Do you load up the quadratic?
we got to get that pilot that used to call in all the time.
Oh, Cowboy Pilot.
Cowboy Pilot, and let us know if that's maybe that's a thing. Because I'm like, maybe that's just a measurement that they took. Like they would look in their thing and be like, it's 6 to 8 inches at this distance. And then they'd work that out later about what the size was. Like, I just don't like the 6 to 8 inches. I don't think that, and I might be wrong. Maybe maybe this object was really small.
Bang on, buddy.
But what I think
Nazi
it was,
drone.
I think this was a measurement scale. If he's like, this is 6 to 8 inches, and that we've just never seen that calculation done at how big this object would be.
Yeah, but there's way smarter people that have looked at this than us that would have put that together.
Buddy, I don't know. Sometimes you need a dummy to point out the obvious.
This is true.
Right?
Maybe Braden just did the world a favor here.
Yeah.
So, and Braden,
me on
in
those
your expert
congressional UFOs.
opinion, then, let's say at 1,000 yards, 6 to 8 inches, going at 500 plus nautical miles. What's the size of this aircraft?
Well, because I don't really know how
This
the
will live
equation works.
forever on the internet now. You are deciding how big this UFO is. It's up to you.
So how many miles is 1,000 yards?
That's not a mile. That's not a mile.
It's not a mile.
Is it close to a mile?
It's like, no, maybe over half.
Huh?
I want to say a mile is like
it's 1,760 yards in a mile. I think that was about
okay. So you have yeah.
So,
You got a weird fraction for this one.
0.7 yards.
0.7
So
miles.
if it's 8 inches, let's go the big 8 inches. 0.7.
You always round up.
5.6 inches.
What?
I don't know how the
8
equation
inches.
works.
It's an 8-inch craft.
Yeah, but
So
then
the
if you
actual
times it by
size
the
is
miles,
smaller. The actual size is smaller than the craft that you're seeing.
It says,
That doesn't-
it
You're
says
going
you
the
times it
wrong
by
way.
the miles. You times it by the miles, which
No,
is
go the other way.
0.7. Then it's small. I don't know
So
how
the
it
craft,
works. I'm stupid.
you've heard it here first. Braden has said the craft at distance is actually smaller than the craft in the cockpit. Somehow it goes backwards and it shrinks. All right, you heard it here first. The size of this craft is actually
multiply
5
the
inches.
total number of
in
inches.
Braden's expert opinion.
Self-proclaimed expert.
Yeah.
Was it last case file? The one before that, you proclaimed to be an expert. So
Yeah, that's
that dude with that fucking bug on the security camera is being vindicated. As we speak. Right?
yeah.
Yeah, Braden can't tell sizes or things. That bug could have been huge. I'm not so much concerned about like UFOs, but this giant bug that's roaming around in that area.
And this guy's, oh shit. I don't know how the calculation works to figure it out. That's my issue. So that's a math issue, not my issue. Math hasn't caught up with the science.
It's all good. Someone put Braden's numbers to peer review and see what you come up with.
Yeah, if you can multiply 8 times 0.7 and get a better number than me, you let me know. Okay? It's just, this one is, to me, paints the picture of like them hushing this story up. Like, he never talks about it ever again, ever. And it's just dead in the water. It's, balloon and mixed with Venus or Jupiter.
Yep.
And like, that's it. And he never comments it publicly, ever.
Yeah,
Never
dude's trying to
tells the
make
story
fucking
again.
Colonel, dude. Like,
Yeah.
He was,
And then
he
went on to become the
threatened
Colonel.
hard.
well, I mean,
Is he still alive?
no.
Oh, goddamn.
I would say that it's like, yes. So at least today, so far, as it would appear, is that with Arrow, with the anomalous aircraft recovery, whatever. Like now that they've kind of revamped like their whistleblower protections and these things, like, maybe you will get, I mean, how many stories have we gone over that this is always the kind of what happens. This is the plot of every UFO encounter where it's like, a military service member sees something really weird. They say, hey, I saw something weird. And then, the higher ups are like, hey, shut the fuck up.
You didn't see nothing.
You want your pension?
Here's
Shut
a
up.
promotion.
Which is like, again, I can understand because maybe there could be something top secret. There could be something that they're letting out that people they don't want people to know about, not necessarily the American people, but just like our enemies in general, about capabilities of certain things or whatever. You don't want them to have that information.
If they imagine they think this is the Russians or something, and the cold, like they're starting to worry, like they don't want to
Viking,
right? They don't want to be like, hey, we're getting buzzed over North fucking Dakota.
Yeah. So there's
Russian secret planes.
So I would say
they don't know
would come in through Canada.
Yeah.
They would come in through Canada.
And it's like, I would say like there is some justification for like operational security. So OPSEC, like there is some justification there that could be like, hey, just stop talking about this stuff right now. Like there's a bunch of stuff going on that like you don't know about, and maybe you should just like not talk about this, and we don't have to take you to court. And otherwise you might end up at court martial for something, whatever.
Yeah, for something. Yeah, just the vague threat.
And they're trying to probably play it on it. They're trying to play it like, on the safe side, I would suppose. That's giving the benefit of the doubt naturally.
Yeah.
But with Arrow and stuff now, with the whistleblowers and that kind of like the unified reporting system that they're still kind of, I think, working out, is like, now this is like, this won't happen, or this shouldn't happen. Where it's like, if they're going to come out, and it'll probably still happen, because there 100%. Is still stuff out there that, pilots might see that they're not supposed to see. What you saw, you did not see.
Dan, I'm with you that I think this one should be talked about far more.
Well, you're not going to make Colonel, buddy.
You better shut up if you want that promotion.
You're not getting off-base housing. Like, fuck you. Yeah. So, but like I said, to strike a more hopeful tone, to be like, yeah, maybe more stuff will come out in more recent, because they're working on it. It seems to be that they're putting together something that to be like, okay, like you can talk about this stuff now. And now, I mean, that's just the environment now, as it has been the last couple of years. It's kind of been like, bit by bit, people are becoming more and more accepting of pilots coming out and saying like, hey, I saw some weird stuff up there, and not really being afraid or, of some sort of repercussion, or being like, some tacit retaliation from the higher ups being like, oh yeah, we're going to have to ground you for a while, buddy. You got to go you're going to have to go take some tests to make sure you're not crazy, whatever. You don't have that stuff, and there's not so much a fear of that kind of that retaliation coming for you. So you can talk about this stuff now, which is, I hope we can talk about these things, and because then we won't have a podcast if people don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Keep spitting it out. Take a video though. High definition.
Phil, did we have a theory of the week?
We didn't talk about it, but there is a nice review.
Ooh. I like people saying nice things.
Unless you got something else, because we didn't.
No, you go ahead.
Nope, nice things. You get there.
No, I don't have it. I just remember reading it earlier. My phone is my webcam. I can't use it.
Oh, okay. Well, as I pull this one up, a quick shout out to
whoever sent that video to you today. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, you want to give it to them?
No, let's do the review. But I think that one.
Describe that video that got sent.
It was. I think you should leave. That one. Remember?
Yeah.
You sent it to me.
Yeah. You know who made that?
Who?
I did. I tricked you.
You little fucker.
I was hoping that you.
He gave it to himself again.
I was hoping that he would pitch that person who made it should get it, and then I'd be like, "Joke's on you."
How many times has Braden won Theory of the Week just by posting as other people and submitting stuff to the show?
All of our followers on Instagram are just Braden.
Braden bots. No one's actually ever
the whole internet is Braden.
Where is the review?
This whole podcast is supported by Braden's bot farm.
Yeah, his entire social media presence is Braden.
It doesn't have. That is his job. He just has 1,000 accounts.
He just makes a bunch of accounts every day.
Yeah, if only I would listen to the podcast with all those accounts. Before I do the theory of the week, quick shout out to Jose. And he lost his dog Dino.
Dino.
Dino. Good thing all dogs go to heaven, and all good boys up there. So, and then this theory of the week this week is from Blue 156. This is easiest way to get theory of the week. Go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook. Leave us 5-star review. Amazing, informational, funny show. Just found the show and love every minute of it. I love the creature episodes. Thank you all for what you do.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Blue 156. And you
See
are
how easy
the
that was to
Theory
get there of the week? See how easy that was?
That's
Super easy.
It's really, you can leave
Guess
a
what?
review on Apple and on Facebook. That will get you Theory of the Week. Leave a 5-star on Spotify, but you cannot leave written reviews. But you can drop your boys a 5-star if you
Or
do.
give us a
doing so
5-star on
inclined.
Spotify and leave a wrritten review on Apple. You can do both.
Yeah.
There's
Create
not
different
exclusive
accounts.
to either one.
Create
You can do both.
1,000 bot accounts each.
Do
and
that
stream
too.
the show nonstop.
We support it.
You got somebody who owns a bot farm? Do it.
And if you're not supporting the show already, you want early access, ad free, all the bonus shit, you know where to go by now. AlienTheorist.com. Hit that support tab. Support your boys. Support your favorite podcast. We'd appreciate it. This week's newest supporters, we got Carlos Flores.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the real Habib? Where is he?
That's a good
Where
question.
is he?
You tell us.
And Orlando Robinson III. Anytime you got a
Yar, that seems
that's
to
a
be a
pirate
little
name
light.
if we've ever heard one.
It seems to be a little light on new Patreon supporters.
On the Theorists.
I just be saying. And as we always say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the skies.
See you after.
See you after hours. Have fun at work.
Get to
Work
work,
is
you
so
bitch.
So shitty.
I forgot to tell you guys about my funny Father's Day card I got. Jamie's grandma gave me a Father's Day card, and it said in the card, she wrote a nice, like beautiful, she's like 81, beautiful handwriting, right? Like all old people just have
Immaculate writing.
phenomenal pen. Yeah, phenomenal. She wrote in beautiful cursive,
Yeah. You suck.
to Braden, who knew you'd be such a dad?